I just think it's wild to have such an obsession with body count, like as a theme, and then to not even have a low body count yourself. All you women, oh, you have to share your body count, but us men, we don't have to share ours. Hello? Just because you can do something biologically doesn't mean you should. This is not a hard concept to understand. There is no liberation or freedom in having sex with a ton of guys.
Haram!
It's just one of those truths of life. I just who hurt you people? Who hurt you men? Because clearly you guys are trying to mess around with Instagram thoughts and it's biting you in the ass. And then y'all want to generalize and act like that's like the average woman. But that's just not the case. If you want women with lower body counts, then stop feeding into the problem. These are the first men to go and have sex with hundreds of women and then get mad at the women for having a high body count. Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, we discuss all things culture and politics. And in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at some of the Manosphere red pill content that's out there, because what the f is going on with that? Considering this is a conservative channel, it may shock some of you to know that I actually highly disapprove of a lot of the red pill manosphere content out there. I think that the manosphere has totally and completely corrupted the term red pill and what a community about red pilling should be about. So we're gonna roast their asses today. Yes, we are. What I find when I consume a lot of this content is that I disagree with both sides entirely. There's no logic when it comes to these podcasts. When we think about podcasts like Whatever and Fresh and Fit, the girls are wrong and the host and the men are wrong as well. These podcasts lack any kind of nuance or reality for that matter. These conversations are just painted with insane generalities that I believe just don't really reflect like what's going on in reality when it comes to dating. So we are here to roast them. But before we get into all that, you already know what I'm going to say. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. You don't have to, but you should. Since we're talking about Tik Toks, be sure to check out my TikTok down below. I post a lot of YouTube stuff, but also lifestyle stuff there so you can get to know me a little better. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into it.
Why are we only getting asked for our body count?
Well, I can't speak for John. Me personally, I think body count matters. So I'm not going to share my body count because I think it matters. But John, I don't know if you want to share yours. If he shares it, will y'all share it?
No.
One for one? Oh, okay, there we go. John, go ahead.
Ladies first.
11.
All 11, really?
Do you think I ran through?
No, I'm just, you know, sounds low. Mine's like 250.
250.
Okay, so when it comes to the body count conversation, I don't even necessarily think that having that conversation and talking about how many partners that you've had sexually is a bad thing. In fact, I think it's actually a good thing. And I do think, and I see this a lot with the manosphere, you know, they're addressing important topics without prescribing any real antidotes or any real solutions to them. So while, yes, I do think body count does matter, and I do think it's a fair question to have, and I do think it's actually a fair preference to have to want a low body count, what I have a tremendous issue with is that it's only an issue when it's a woman who has a high body count. Now, I understand that men have a proclivity towards multiple sexual partners. I understand that, right? I still don't think it's right. And I think that if you're going to put this standard onto women that they need to have a low body count and all of this, then you do too, okay? Because come on, all is fair in love and war. It's perfectly fine for you to want someone who has a low body count. I have no issue with that. But the minute that it's, oh, I can do whatever I want, but you can't. I can have sex with as many people I want, but if you do it as a female, you're a whore, then I have a problem with that. Yeah, I do. I have found my faith in Christianity in the last year. The deeper I get into my faith, the more I understand the argument for waiting till marriage to have sex. And I see why that is a good foundation to have and a good baseline to encourage in society, right? We always talk about on this channel the line in the sand. And I don't think it's a bad thing for our line in the sand to be like, you know, maybe you should wait till marriage to have sex. Or at the very least, that sleeping with tons of people is not some sort of freedom, right? That's not an act of freedom, whether you're a male or female, to just be sleeping with tons of people. Where is the freedom in that? Can someone tell me? I don't see any freedom in that. All I see is a bunch of STDs and a lot of baggage from that. And that goes for both genders, right? But take the Christianity piece out of it for a minute. Men like to escape accountability by blaming their biology. And I have a major problem with that. All that indicates to me is that you're a weak man. If you expect your partner, your female partner, to have a low body count, but you can run rampant, you're clearly a weak man because you can't control yourself. You have no self-control. And for all of these men who are high value and calling themselves high value, thinking they deserve a high value woman, well, if one of your standards or preferences that you're so obsessed with is body count, I'm sorry, what does that say about you? Bruh. You can't even adhere to your own standard. Just because you have a biological proclivity to have sex with a lot of people doesn't mean you should do it. Right? And I don't even think you need like a Christian justification to understand why that is so. Obviously, there's a lot of risks associated with having sex with a bunch of people. We know that. STDs, unwanted pregnancy, trauma, all sorts of things. And it just really bugs me that men think they can just escape accountability for this. Bugs me. I just think it's wild to have such an obsession with body count, like as a theme, and then to not even have a low body count yourself.
Stop the cap.
All you women, you have to share your body count, but us men, we don't have to share ours. Hello? Is that not an example of you being kind of misogynist right there? And I'm not even a feminist. I have no skin in this game, okay? I'm just watching this as a viewer who is in a happy relationship, a successful relationship where I don't have any of these problems. And I think it's because I live in reality. These people don't. They're so obsessed with their own narrative that they just can't like see it for what it is sometimes. I like, why can we not just accept that like, yeah, okay, maybe this whole like sexual liberation thing was a bad idea on both ends and like hookup culture sucks and yeah, we f***ed up. Maybe we shouldn't be doing that anymore. Like, why does it have to be like men against women, feminists against misogynists? Like, why do we have to do that? Why do we have to do all that? It's stupid. Okay, anyways, let's move on.
How does a woman oppress you?
Her purity.
There's nothing else going on
it's
there.
It's respect.
There's not like how passionate is she or what experiences does she have. Nothing like that. It's just like how pure is she? How untouched is she? Like a child.
That's it. That's what you
care
about.
But it goes a long way for a man to be able to have those experiences with you instead of having to step in and change your mind. You know what I mean? So if you've been dealing with a man for
so you want to mind control a
no,
child?
it's not control. It's just having that shock factor. Just having that ability to say, I'm the one who gave her these prefaces.
Pride
she got it from me.
It sounds like you're trying to find someone really young
like
with no
shape them or
experience
something,
that
to
is
like-
because you're so insecure that someone else might have been beforehand there.
Adam, why would
That's
you
what
want
it
a
sounds
woman
like.
that had experience with other?
Because you're insecure.
How would you feel,
dramatically.
Adam, if a woman came up to you and y'all got together and y'all getting ready to do, and she said, "Hey, this is my favorite position." Instead of, wouldn't it be better if
All right, you want me to answer that?
Tell you that or
I'm like, all right, let's get it in then. What do you mean? Brother,
older
I
girl
don't
will
want
tell
a
you
virgin.
that.
This is the perfect example of why you're both wrong. Okay, you're both wrong. The obsession with purity when you are not pure yourself makes zero sense to me. I think that's Melania, Destiny's ex-wife now, whatever. I can see her point though about like how it is kind of giving like, yeah, you just want somebody, you don't actually want an individual. You don't want a partner. You just want somebody you can control. And while it is giving that, at the same time, I can understand his point where men don't want women who have had sex with a bunch of people. And that's also a fair point. But what they both fail to realize is they both go to such extremes. Yeah, so this is a normal person who lives in reality and does normal things like an average person because I'm an average human being who doesn't just live on the internet. I think most men just want a woman that's like on their playing field. You know, I don't think they're obsessed with purity and I don't think they're obsessed with body count. I think that for the most part, right, unless you have an absurdly high body count, that's like weird. I think for most men and women for that matter, they just want an equal, a true equal. I don't think that purity and virginity is at the top of the ranks for like the average American. Something that really irritates me about these self-proclaimed, high value men is they act like they want a woman like this, some meek little woman who can't make her own decisions or have her own opinion. And then they go and cheat on her. But it's like real high value men who accomplish a lot and are successful, they have a partner in their marriage. I think of couples like Grant and Elena Cardone, Melania and Donald Trump. You really think that those two women don't contribute anything to the relationship and they just do whatever their husbands say? I don't think so. I think most high value men, they want a woman who can be their rock, who can be their peace, but that can challenge them and bring thought-provoking conversations to the table. It doesn't mean that they're going to do whatever their wife says. It just means that they want somebody that they can rely on 100% that can challenge them and push them forward. I think that's what most men want. They want a woman who encourages them and inspires them and motivates them to do better and to level up in life and to help create this family legacy. All this other stuff is just nonsense. And I can't believe that there's thousands of young men and all across the world right now who are falling for this. And it's like, you wonder why you need help from men on red pill podcasts to get women. It's because you're listening to shit like this and you think it's going to help you. It's not. Women are human beings, okay? While I can empathize with men who don't want women who are wrecked by feminism, that want to argue on every little thing and are irritating and annoying and combative, I can understand that. That doesn't mean you have to go to the other extreme and idealize this meek little woman that you can mold into whatever you want to. That's weird. Okay, that's not normal. Like, what kind of childhood trauma do you have? Okay, that is an overcompensation. You are overcompensating. Water. Let's see what else these red pill retards have to say. With the extremes. The whole point of traditional roles and relationships is that the woman is the peacekeeper. In fact, she should be the place that you go to be vulnerable. That doesn't mean you have to bring her your problems, but if my partner isn't communicating to me when they're not feeling good emotionally because of whatever, that's what's gonna make me dry up. And I think most women feel that way because, as y'all like to say, we are emotional creatures. We want to connect with you emotionally. And when you guys don't do that, that's when it actually becomes a problem. Now, again, see, this is where I don't agree with the women, though. I don't think that men should be in their feminine. I don't think that vulnerability should be equated to feminine. Everybody has vulnerable moments, and the one place that you should be able to go to divulge those vulnerable moments is your partner, regardless of your gender. Again, this is coming from a perspective of somebody who lives in reality. That is a average American that you guys are claiming that you're speaking to. Okay, yeah. So my boyfriend tells me about his problems all the time. Like, yeah, we're real people with real problems. Like, what? Because A, he can trust me with that because I'm not going to burn him. I'm going to listen to him. And because I'm an actual human being who has valid opinions. He knows he can rely on me for sound advice when he's going through something. That's how it should be. Y'all are weird. Y'all are so weird and dramatic. Like, these men want to act like women are like, crazy and stuff. And it's like, you guys are the ones who are acting so dramatic. I will say though, a lot of these shows pick like stupid women on purpose who are actually like brain dead to the point where it makes me concerned for the future of society and women as a whole so that they can make their points easier because they can't rely on their own logic to do that. They have to use dumb women to make their points. And that's where I get irritated with women because it's like, stop making us look bad. Not all of us are incapable. You know, moving on.
How many children can a woman bring to term per year?
Without doing damage to your body, one, because your body needs time to heal.
Or
and
maybe a
everything
twin
like
or
that
triplets,
before
but in
you're
general,
supposed to-
one, right?
Right. Yeah, there's
Now, how
one
many
birth.
children can a man bring to term per year?
Too many.
Oh, yeah. He could bust multiple nuts a day with multiple women, right?
The math is not mathing because men can't bring any babies to term because they're not the ones who birthed them. Either way, this is a stupid argument. I get what he's trying to say. And he goes on, I can't play the rest of it because there's copyrighted music, but he goes on to say that because men have that ability to plant seeds in many different women, that therefore it's okay for them to do that. Just because you can do something biologically doesn't mean you should. This is not a hard concept to understand. To try and devalue the beauty and value in a woman and her ability to birth a child is disgusting to me. I would never be with anyone like that in my life. Like, you guys know it is possible to be with a high value man who isn't a f***ing douchebag. Hello? Many of us are with them every day. So, like, men, if you're gonna be talking like that, you need to stop right there, okay? You should be grateful. Y'all need to remember to be grateful for women for having kids because it's not fun, all right? It's not something that is fun for a lot of us to give birth and all that. And just trying to devalue it is just really bad vibes to me. I don't know. There's just something really gross about that. People are out of their minds.
You said that our body counts are growing because of opportunities, or you think we're doing it because we want to be pleased sexually? Or
No,
both?
it's not because you want to be pleased sexually. It doesn't make you happy. Like when you go and you have to do the walk of shame in the morning, you're holding your boots, walking back, and you're still wearing that whore outfit from the night before. You don't feel good about yourself. You'd rather be with a guy who's making you feel secure, who's making you feel happy. But you've been encouraged by stuff like She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion to twerk in the club and do all this nonsense every day. And you think that is making you empowered and you think you're a boss bitch babe, when really that's not what you want. You want to be with a good man. You want to have a good, happy relationship, but you're here in the club every night searching for something that's empty. You're chasing dopamine instead of real love.
Mic drop? I don't know. He's right. And this is where the feminists completely lose me. There is no liberation or freedom in having sex with a ton of guys.
Haram!
It's just one of those truths of life. It's been like that since the beginning of time. There used to be a line in the sand. There used to be a societal boundary that we had about that. There used to be a societal boundary that hooking up with people was not really a good thing. It was kind of frowned upon. And there's a reason for that. I understand where men are coming from when they say that they don't want women who are ran through, right? Or with a high body count. I hate those terms that they're meant to be derogatory, but I do understand the principle. I just disagree with the fact that they think it only applies to women and not to them.
Stop the cap.
With that being said, and I wish that more women would realize that hookup culture, we're not built for that. We're not supposed to be built for that. It's a good thing that we're not built for that. And I wish that they wouldn't fall for this trap. Next.
Yeah. Jack, control your girl.
Hey, no more sticking up for
Control your
transgenders.
girl.
We don't f with that
Be
shit,
quiet.
all right?
Stop
No, I'm
talking.
kidding.
Why are you telling me to be quiet when I have a
Hey,
mic?
be nicer to her. Say please, please.
Yo,
Come on.
control your girl. Control your girl. I'm serious. Control your girl.
Really?
Yes, control your girl.
It's not
She's
that
acting
deep.
crazy right now. Control your woman.
Are you? I don't think she's acting crazy.
She's good. She don't know where she at, man. Control your woman.
Okay, enough. Change the
Control your
change the
woman.
topic.
Yeah,
Just
I
move
don't
on.
think so.
Hold on. Let me be. Look.
She's upset. I'm
Let
sorry.
me be extremely
Okay,
clear.
don't worry.
About this.
He does this on
No,
purpose.
let
He's
me
trying
hear
to
you fucking cry.
He wants to make you cry.
Let me be
That's just
extremely
fucking
clear about
gold.
this.
Shame on you.
Yo, let me be extremely clear about this.
Say don't cry.
He can bully us, right?
Whoa.
Stop. All I'm gonna say, if my man didn't stand up, say something to Myron, punch him in the face, or get us out of there, it's over. We are no longer dating. Stand up and be the man that you guys want to act like you are on these stupid red pill manosphere podcasts, and stand up for me. Protect me. Isn't this always what you guys are claiming that you bring to the table for women? Because he's not protecting shit. He barely pushed back on Myron. You can tell he was scared of him, and he just let her clown his girl. Oh, hell no. If my man didn't do a lot more than that, I don't know if I could look at him the same way. That's disgusting.
I think men and women are equally shitty. I think people can be shitty, but if you pay one gender to make bad decisions, they're going to make more bad decisions.
That's true.
Like if you pay people to be single mothers, there's going to be more single mothers. If you pay women to divorce and they get half, they're going to do it. Like if you allow women to beat up on men and be able to call the police and blame it on the guy, they're going to do it. If you say believe all women, then the shitty women are going to do it.
Are there women who take advantage of men obviously. But are the mass majority of women setting out to just take men for a wild ride so they can take them for all they have? No. Most of the men in these situations don't even have money to begin with. It's such a stupid argument. This idea that women are just out here like scheming ways to take advantage of men in the court system is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. I'm the first person to say that I believe a lot of these programs do have poor incentives. Any kind of government program is going to kill incentive, and it's going to incentivize people to take advantage of the program. I'm all on board with that. But do I think that the average person in an average marriage is going into the marriage hoping it fails, trying to scheme ways to make it fail so that they can somehow like get some sort of financial benefit from it once the marriage is over? No. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Bruh. What it really is, in my opinion, is that marriage is not respected anymore. And I usually think that both the man and the woman in the marriage stop trying. I don't think that men are good at meeting women's emotional needs. And I think women tend to nag and too much. It's usually little simple things like that that end up causing resentment and driving a wedge. While we can talk about how the court system and all that is flawed, and I agree with that, and I do think that it needs to be updated because women are in the workforce and stuff in this day and age, that doesn't mean that every time a situation like that unfolds, it's like it was premeditated by a woman. Ooh, scary woman bad. Like, get real.
If your man woke you up at 2 a.m., he said, baby, can you cook me a meal? Would you cook your man a meal if he woke you up at 2 a.m.?
No. Just being honest.
What about you, Kiki?
It all depends on how I'm feeling.
All right, it depends.
Oh, another depends.
It depends on the situation.
Here's another question.
I would make a meal at 2 a.m. for my boyfriend, but that's because my boyfriend's a good man. But that's because my boyfriend's like the best, most wonderful human being in the world. And you know what? He would do the same for me. Let's see what else this goofy has to say.
If an intruder broke inside the house, would you or would you not expect your man to go downstairs and handle that break at the door? Natasha.
Absolutely.
Allie.
Yes.
Kiki.
All I'm saying is if you don't, it's over after that.
Yeah, I would expect that.
What I've heard was that a woman's wifey duty is based off her feelings, right? It depends on how I feel. But the man's duty of protecting you, it's mandatory. How is it a fair deal?
These are so different. Like,
Yeah,
one is like
they're
you're in the
not.
same
The one
situation.
is
Like
not.
you're both about to die, maybe. Right, and if you don't
And
do
the
it,
other
you're
one
gonna
is
die
you
too.
might not eat. So it's not about the situation. It's about what the man is attracted
Yes, it
to, and it's
is.
about what the woman is attracted to. The man is attracted to femininity, submissiveness. The woman is attracted to masculinity, protecting and providing. So if you're not giving what we are naturally attracted to, it's not a fair deal if we have to always give you what you're naturally attracted to. That's going to protect you.
You can't conflate these two situations because both of them are highly unlikely. The likelihood of a man waking up at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night in a dead sleep demanding a sandwich is like really out there. Okay. And at some point you can do it yourself. I don't think that it's like, why do you have to like wake up your partner out of a dead sleep and ruin her next day because she didn't get any sleep because she had to make you a sandwich? Do you hear how stupid that is? That doesn't sound like a recipe for a good marriage. Second off, one of the girls said it. If you want me to go defend us when an intruder breaks in, I'll take that bitch out. Don't get it twisted. We could both be in trouble if you don't. Like, your life's on the line too. Hello? And also, like, again, the likelihood of that situation is slim, you know? I get the point that he's trying to make, and I do agree that I think a lot of the reason why marriages struggle, relationships struggle, is because women are too combative and they don't want to do things for their partner that are easy to do and are just like an easy way to show love in a way that a man will understand. I just like, who hurt you people? Who hurt you men? Because clearly you guys are trying to mess around with Instagram thoughts and it's biting you in the ass. And then y'all want to generalize and act like that's like the average woman. But like we all, like that's just not the case. I spilled water.
Who controls access to sex, men or women?
Women. Yeah, woman. Woman, obviously.
Yeah, so I would say hookup culture, if we want to see hookup culture stop, because women kind of control when sex happens. So do you have anyone to blame but yourselves on that one? You know, thoughts? Okay, yeah, crickets. Here we go.
And we've come to the point where I have to disagree with the women. Another point for the men. If we're keeping score here, I think the whole cold hard truth that a lot of women need to accept is that where we are at right now in the dating culture is our fault as women. It just is. I mean, I don't think it takes a genius to understand that, like, this is what feminism has been pushing. Sexual liberation, sleep with whoever you want. Girls can do it too. It's like, well, this is where it leads us. Shitty relationships, right? The more people that you sleep with, specifically as women, it can be a good indication that you have a lot of baggage that you're carrying from other relationships that you're going to bring into your next relationship. I can understand why a man wouldn't want to deal with that. But again, I think it goes both ways. To act like men don't have baggage from sleeping around with a ton of women is delusional. Maybe it's not as much or not as extreme, but it's still there. Quite simply, I just think we can all see that this hookup culture has destroyed relationships in the present day and that it needs to end. It was a failed experiment, guys. It didn't work. So let's just stop. Hurrah! That's on us as women to be better. If we put down our foot more and make men actually work to gain access to us, they're going to be better partners to us. The easier it is for a man to access you, the less hard he's going to try, the less nice things he's going to do for you. Like it doesn't benefit us as women. It's not in our favor. And I don't know what it's going to take for women to like realize us sleeping around with whoever we want is to our own detriment.
You, on the other hand, slept with 250 girls. You don't have an opinion on the girl's body count. Your body count is high. Just stop.
But that could be the same thing with you at the height. Like, you can't demand somebody be 6 foot. You're 5'2".
Okay.
Well, you can, and the thing.
That's still my preference.
But body. Well, it's men's preference.
It's men's preference for the low body count.
It's a stupid preference that.
See, it's only stupid because you don't understand it, and it doesn't serve you. That's why. You're very self-centered in the way you view things.
How does it serve you having a nice, clean girl?
Well, no STDs. The baby's definitely mine. She's not going to run away. Marital happiness. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Basically, men are not allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries.
Really?
Stop the cap.
You guys aren't fooling me that you're that stupid. It's not that you're not allowed to have preferences. It's just if you're going to have a preference and have a standard, then live up to that standard yourself. Conflating a height preference to a body count preference just doesn't make any sense to me. First off, I don't get the height thing to begin with. And I cannot believe how many girls that I see actually have a thing with height. Like, that's so weird to me. Like, as long as he's taller than me, I really don't give a shit, but whatever. And then that guy in the suit, he's such an idiot. I've seen so many clips of him where I'm like, oh my God. He's like, oh, well, if she has a low body count, that means less STDs for me. Meanwhile, I've slept with 250 women and now I'm going to act like I care about getting STDs. Like, shut up. I just don't like this. I hate this dynamic. I get to do whatever I want, but you don't. Like, it's not going to work. So all of the men that are pushing for this, like, y'all need to just stop. It's not going to work. If you want women with lower body counts, then stop feeding into the problem. These are the first men to go and have sex with hundreds of women and then get mad at the women for having a high body count. Well, if you don't want women with high body counts, stop contributing to it. Like, it's really not that hard. 1 + 1 = 2. The sky is blue. Like, this isn't a hard equation to solve. Okay, really? Watch. I can solve it for you right now. I'm like a genius PhD. Who knew? Okay, women, stop accepting advances from men to have sex with you. Men, stop advancing on women to have sex with them. And then look, the problem's solved. None of these issues exist anymore. Isn't that amazing? Wow, who knew it was rocket science? What it really comes down to is there are very few people with integrity anymore. It's not a stupid preference to want somebody who hasn't slept with a bunch of people. That's not a stupid preference. But if you're going to have a preference, live up to it yourself.
I think that it's 100% the women's fault. 100%. Because it's like, all right. You put a piece of meat in front of a tiger. You can't be mad he ate it. You put the piece of meat right in front of him. Now, I know everyone will say, Pearl, don't compare women to meat. But I will. I just did. Now, yeah, because men are in control of relationships. Women are in control of sex. So we pick who we sleep with. Men who pick who they wife.
If she's talking about what I think she's talking about, and it's that it's your fault when a man cheats, because you won't have sex with him, it's a fair thing to say that that is a contributing factor and that you do have a part to play in that action, in that consequence. But no, because the woman didn't force her husband to go stick his dick into another woman. Like, I don't understand the obsession with just removing any accountability from men in these manospheres. It's wrong. And these men want to act like they're such men of integrity and they're such high value men, and they can't even go a day without keeping their dick wet. Like, come on. If you really have such tenacity, why can't you self-control in this area? So to say it's 100% the woman's fault is ridiculous. We all know that's not true. At the end of the day, the man makes the choice to cheat. And a lot of men, like I said earlier, are really bad at communicating. And what's really frustrating is these podcasts and these red pill people and whatever, they're teaching men that it's bad to communicate their emotions. It's bad to be vulnerable. So then if they're having an issue with sex in their marriage, now they're not going to want to talk to their woman about it because God forbid they be vulnerable. And then all of the blame gets put on the woman, and it's ridiculous. It's both people's fault. We can talk about the woman's contribution to the situation, but to just put all the blame on her is like clearly just clickbaiting for views. Like, be so for real, Pearl. Like, you would even know, girl. You've barely even been in relationships. You've never been married. You've never had kids. Like, really, who are you to even talk on anything? If Pearl had all the answers, you would think she would be married, right? You would think that she'd be happily married. Next up on the docket.
One of the guys on my roster, he tried to like get with me and my roommate, and he's saying, oh, like we're gonna see which one I want. And I'm like, I don't want you now.
I mean, you're not exclusive with him. He's not exclusive with you. What's it matter to you if you try to get with some other girl?
Because that's weird.
But you're seeing 3 other guys.
But it's not about that. It's about the fact that he is like purposefully trying to go for both of us. And he said like, I'm trying to stir some shit up.
Okay, sure. I get that. That's fair.
So me and my roommate are like, get away.
These guys you're seeing, do you think they also have a roster?
For sure.
For sure.
And actually, I was walking with one of them, and then the other guy on the roster comes, and like he for some reason knew about it, and he's like, how was that crossover? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm in my car, and I see him walking up the hill with a girl, and I was like, okay. And then another, like that same day, I saw him walking to class with a girl, and then I saw him with his arm around a girl. In the span of like 3 days.
This is what I mean when I say they purposely pick the dumbest women. I mean, there is nothing going on in this girl's head. A lot of these girls, honest to God, don't even have a 10th grade vocabulary. It's disturbing. It's disturbing how little depth a lot of these women have. They have no personality, no interest. Their entire lives are like hooking up, partying, and social media. It's really discouraging to see. The reason I say all of that is like, it just drives me insane because it's like they make a point to bring on women like this and try to act like this is how all women are. And it's like, just not the case. The other thing we need to talk about with this is what the fuck is with people and having a roster. Like, I can't even comprehend that. Like, are y'all really that deranged? Even if you're in the talking stages, it's like, yeah, I'm in the talking stages with this person. Because let me give you a piece of advice. If you're not dating to marry, why the fuck are you dating? That contributes to this whole societal problem that we're addressing in this video. Don't do that. Okay, let's see what else we have.
She's a fatty. You had a 5-year relationship, so you know how much you spent on your girlfriend.
I think I bought her dinner once.
Was she ugly and fat?
No, she was not. If someone called you ugly, would you view it as a joke?
It was a joke. It wasn't meant to be that serious. I'm not going to explain why it was a joke. To me, it's a joke.
Hold on. Yo, stop. Can you stop? But stop interrupting.
You keep dragging on the same question.
I'm not dragging on the same question.
It was a joke to me. I'm allowed to make an opinion and make a joke.
Sure.
Thanks.
Sure.
Can we move on?
No.
Help!
Let me ask the girls here at the table. If someone to your face
I said it about your girlfriend.
Stop interrupting.
Don't yell at me or I'm gonna
You keep interrupting. You gotta go.
That whole clip is just disgusting to me because Brian, the host of that show, just thinks him and his boys, they can dish it out all night long, but the minute that a girl gives the same energy back, they can't take it. Like, y'all want to act like you're these big, tough, high value men, right? You're these elf males, whatever you think you are, you're not. They crumble at the slightest dig that might hint at some truth. Just epitomizes a man child. This stuff drives me crazy because I am not a feminist at all. Like, I agree with traditional values, but these people give it such a bad name. You're not delivering the win that you think you are. You're actually kind of shitting all over it. Did y'all see that with my eyelash? That was crazy. I just had to include that because like I've seen that many times with the Whatever podcast, and it just like really leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Like, if you're gonna sit here and dish it like 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, y'all gotta be able to take it. And I don't even like Brian's whatever. I don't even mind the Whatever podcast. I don't even mind Brian, but you know, it is obvious that they have a very clear bias, and maybe they don't care about that, but as a viewer, it's obvious and it's frustrating. It's just frustrating.
I'll say this, there are no feminists when World War III starts. A lot of you guys want equal rights.
Equal rights, equal fights.
Look at Ukraine. All the women could leave the country. All the men had to stay from the age of 18, could not leave the country. If you're a woman, you could leave. Oh, feminism this, feminism that. When it comes down to it, when it comes down to the fight, when it comes down to Russia invading your country, there's no feminists anymore. All the women, while all their men in Ukraine were dying, getting killed, all the women went to Stockholm, Sweden, and were in the club, partying, getting drunk. They went to the UK, they went to Sweden, they went wherever. They get to continue their hot girl summer.
I think most people can agree that first wave feminism, or whatever you want to call it, had a purpose, had a point, and it was successful, and we achieved that, and that was cool. But like where we're at now with feminism has obviously gone too far. I just don't think women are even cognizant of things like this. I don't think that they acknowledge, understand, empathize with the fact that men do have a lot of pressure on them, and they are expected to protect women and children. And I do think that there is a pressure that men carry that women don't. Women have pressures that we carry that men don't. And it's okay to acknowledge that. And it's okay to be grateful for that. It's okay to empathize with the fact that men at times may have to risk their lives to defend us as women. And there's beauty and honor in that. And rather than appreciating that, acknowledging it, we know men need a lot of acknowledgement, and that's fine. We're the emotional ones. We should be able to sense that and pick up on it and give them that acknowledgement when they need it. I think it's sad that we can't just give men wins where they do deserve it. I think like it's okay to give men their flowers when they need it, instead of demanding unfair things disguised as equal rights. It's okay to just like acknowledge that men do that for us. That's just that. We don't need to gain anything out of it. We can just be grateful. Next.
Why men don't want to get married? The main reason is because the divorce laws in the United States are crazy.
I don't think that's why. I think they just don't want to get married because they just want to fuck around.
If you want to find a woman that doesn't work and you marry her and you have kids and then she wants a divorce because something might have happened in the relationship, do you not think that it would be fair if she doesn't have a job, that if you leave her, she's going to feel like, I'm like a single mom now, I don't have a job, I haven't built up my career or anything. Why wouldn't she get half? Isn't that kind of fair?
Perfect example of Destiny's Wife giving a super niche example for a blanket statement.
Niche How is that a niche statement? This is what y'all want. This is what y'all are always proposing. So there are consequences to it, because there are times when these situations happen. What a stupid statement. That's not why men aren't getting married. Men aren't getting married because we live in this ridiculous hookup culture where they have so many options all the time. Women are acting a fool out here with their feminist things, and we're all equally in this hookup culture, right? Both genders are equally contributing to it, and they don't want to get married because of a lot of reasons, but one of them is like what the other girl said. They have so many options, they don't know who to pick. Of course, women do have some contribution to that as well. I don't think a lot of women are really like setting themselves up to be marriage material either. But it's not because of divorce laws. Like what? Again, this is where people like me, who are just like an average person in the world, like live in reality. And we all know that that is like just so untrue. Hello, get off the internet for a little bit. Anyways.
Oh, that's kind of why the law is there.
How many women don't have jobs now?
I have absolutely no idea, but it seems like guys like you want to find someone that is submissive, that can't really like leave.
So then you're gonna have to get divorced and give her half your because you want her to be home and sit there like this.
Say that you would do that until you're like 40 and then you want to divorce. Like, of course you would want to have the half because she hasn't built up her life.
Stop talking fast and over me to like seem like you're smart. I know this is a Destiny tactic. Relax.
Really? Okay. Also, this is my second language.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Destiny, but I mean, she sounds a lot smarter than you right now. Moving on.
Makeup is the most accepted lie in society.
So reshaping your body and like working out and giving yourself toned muscles, that's also changing your appearance.
Conflating exercising and getting fit to makeup, something that can be put on and removed.
Couldn't you compare your beard to makeup since it hides your jawline?
That's so true. Yeah, that is true.
So you're comparing a beard to makeup?
Not directly. I'm not saying they're the same thing. I'm just saying you probably having that beard makes you a little bit more flattering looking in the same way that makeup might make a woman look more flattering.
I sort of see what you're saying. Certainly some men, the beard can help shape the jawline a bit. You know, you said that men lie about their height on dating apps. And I said, well, I think women lie more, and that's through makeup and through filters.
This is why I need to be on this podcast. Like, oh my God. That's your argument to that stupid statement he just said? Really? Really? Beards? No. Here's the real argument. Makeup doesn't change your face that much. I hate this argument. If I took all of this off right now, and you know what? I don't care. There's tons of videos on me on the internet without makeup. I don't look that different. Like, it doesn't really change your face shape. It doesn't really change your features. Like, unless you are taking 3 hours to do a full beat glam, you're really not gonna look that different. And I hate this argument. It's so stupid. Especially when there's things like fillers, plastic surgery, and filters, like he said. Those are valid arguments, but the makeup thing, bullshit. Like, I call bullshit. Not to mention, makeup can't hide your body. And I truly think that most men are concerned with your physique than your face. Like, if you're pretty enough, it really comes down to your physique. And, you know, unless you're getting plastic surgery and all that, which is a valid argument, you're not really hiding anything. Oh my gosh. Especially when we can actually have like a valid, real conversation about fillers, plastic surgery, Facetune filters. Like, we can have a conversation about that. That's fair. But like, stop with the makeup thing. It's so dumb. Men don't even understand the makeup thing. They tell on themselves all the time because they'll bring up pictures of women who are natural. All of us women are like, okay, buddy, she's wearing a ton of makeup. You just don't know because she's good at it. I don't know. If I went on one of these podcasts, I don't know what they would do with me because I don't agree with either side. Like, you guys are all wrong. You all don't live in reality. Please talk to some normal, average people because none of us are worried about any of these things. And honestly, that is really what the spirit of this video was. So thank you guys so much for watching. That is all I have for you tonight. I am exhausted from the absolute shit fest that we just watched. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, whether you agree with me or not. If you have anything more to add to the conversation, anything valid, normal, like reality based, that would be great. Before you go, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. And I will see you guys in a new video soon. I'll be here reacting to TikToks from all corners of the internet. You can count on me for that. And remember, God bless you. God bless America. Bye.